They told you intelligence was a number. They never told you it was a weapon. Your entire life, you've been judged by a ruler that was never real. They told you intelligence was a number, an IQ score, a grade stamped in red ink, a certificate framed on a wall. They told you your worth could be measured by how fast you solved equations or how many facts you could store like a hard drive. That story was convenient. So they sold it to you. Real intelligence has nothing to do with school, nothing to do with polite definitions of being smart. True intelligence is leverage. It is survival. It is a capacity to bend reality before reality bends you. It is the ability to decide instead of being decided for. The great strategists understood this. History's silent architects understood this. While the masses were busy trying to appear intelligent, a small minority was busy becoming powerful. There is a hierarchy beneath the surface of society, a ladder you were never taught existed, a structure that determines who commands and who complies, who feeds and who is fed upon. Most people never climb it. They live and die on the lowest rung, unaware they were ever standing on one. They believe they are choosing, but they are only following scripts written by someone else. There are stages to awakening, not the soft, inspirational kind, the kind that strips illusions away and forces you to confront yourself. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Faces change. Conversations feel hollow. You begin to notice the invisible strings pulling people's limbs. And the only question left is whether you are brave enough to recognize where you stand. Look around you. Truly look. Walk through a crowded street at rush hour. Watch the eyes in the subway. Stand still in a grocery line and observe. Most people are asleep. Not stupid, not incapable. Asleep, they may have impressive titles, high IQs, respected professions. They may quote books, code software, speak eloquently. But functionally, they are unconscious. Their intelligence is reactive. They do not act. They are acted upon. The alarm wakes them. Authority directs them. Media tells them what to fear. Ads tell them what to desire. They believe their opinions are theirs, until you ask them why. Then the collapse begins. Headlines replace thought. Inherited beliefs replace understanding. They are containers, not creators. Their defining trait is the absence of agency. Everything that happens to them is someone else's fault. The economy, the system, their upbringing, their luck. They drift through life resenting the current, yet never learning how to steer. Freedom terrifies them. Autonomy feels like danger. Give them complete choice, and they panic. They crave structure, orders, permission. Consensus is their oxygen. They need the crowd's approval before they feel safe thinking. They fear being alone more than being wrong. When someone like this begins to wake up, the first thing they don't become is wise. They become loud. They realize the world is a game, but they don't know how to play it yet. So they imitate those who look like they do. They collect opinions like accessories, vocabulary like costumes, causes like uniforms. They don't understand ideas. They display them. Intelligence becomes performance, a signal, a mask. They feel superior to those still asleep, but they are only dreaming a different dream. They mistake recognition for understanding, confidence for competence. Ask them to build something from nothing, and the panic returns. They can repeat, but they cannot create. Their greatest fear is exposure. Then, for few, the noise fades. Validation loses its grip, and something colder takes its place. Calculation. They stop caring about looking smart and start caring about winning. This is where agency is born. They see incentives instead of morals, structures instead of stories. They understand that rules are not sacred. They are negotiated. They read people not by their words, but by their desires and fears. Every interaction becomes strategic. Every relationship transactional. They climb efficiently, not by effort, but by positioning. They speak when it benefits them. They stay silent when it doesn't. They are effective, but isolated. Because when you see everyone as a piece on a board, you assume they see you the same way. Paranoia replaces innocence. Efficiency replaces peace. Some rise higher. They stop merely calculating and start imposing. Will enters the equation. They no longer navigate the system. They push against it. They lead from the front. They decide. They carry responsibility others avoid. People follow them not because they are manipulated, but because they bring order to chaos. But visibility has a cost. Power tied to presence is fragile. Energy fades. Weakness attracts predators. The weight becomes constant. They believe they are kings, yet they are servants to their own ambition. Then comes a quieter form of power. Influence without force. Control without commands. The realization that resistance is inefficient, but desire is obedient. Instead of pushing people, they shape what people want. They work in shadows, through narratives, through intermediaries. Outcomes feel inevitable, yet no one sees their hand. They wear masks so often they forget what their face looks like. Power grows, but humanity dissolves. Most think this is the peak. It isn't. Above manipulation is design. The understanding that behavior follows environment. You don't persuade individuals. You construct systems. You don't fight for outcomes. You define the arena. While others argue, compete, and scheme, this mind builds a structure that makes all of it unavoidable. Platforms, institutions, ideologies, rules that outlive their creators. They think in decades, in consequences layered upon consequences. But even this is not the end. The final ascent requires letting go of creation itself, detachment from outcome, detachment from identity, no hunger for recognition, no fear of loss, nothing to threaten, nothing to buy. This is not emptiness. It is clarity, a mind aligned with reality instead of resisting it, able to descend into action when necessary, then return to stillness, using every level as a tool, but living in none of them. Now the mirror stands in front of you. Where are you really? Not where you claim to be, not where you want to be, where you are. The most expensive lie you will ever tell is the one you tell yourself.